Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we are going to completely demystify the science of the perfect sear. We're taking you from an everyday home cook and turning you into a precision culinary scientist. Seriously, we are going to totally transform the way you look at your kitchen equipment, your ingredients, and the invisible everyday forces of heat. Look, we have literally all been there, right? The crushing disappointment of dropping a beautiful, expensive piece of meat into a pan, only to pull out this gray, boiled, sad-looking steak. Or, maybe the steak turns out okay, but your kitchen looks like a grease bomb just went off, with oil splattered across every single inch of your stovetop. Well, today we're solving that exact problem. We aren't just giving you recipes, we are arming you with actionable physics. Here is our quick roadmap for today's masterclass. First, we'll break down the chemistry of a sear. Second, we're putting carbon steel up against cast iron. Third, we'll master your induction heat source. Fourth, I'll introduce a genuine secret weapon for your kitchen. And finally, we'll lock down the absolute rules for flawless execution. All right, let's dive into Section 1, the science of the perfect sear. We need to understand the actual chemistry happening here. It really all comes down to this one crucial phenomenon, the Maillard reaction. Discovered way back in 1912, this is the literal scientific foundation of flavor anytime you're cooking meat, fish, or even just baking a loaf of bread. When the amino acids and proteins and reducing sugars collide under the right amount of heat, they produce this crazy cascade of hundreds of new aromatic molecules, plus these beautiful brown pigments called melanoidins. Without this specific reaction, your food is just going to stay pale and flavorless. Now, a lot of people actually mix this up with caramelization, so let's clear that up right now. You need to know that your steak relies on the Maillard reaction, which absolutely requires both proteins and sugars. Caramelization is totally different. That involves only sugars being heated past 160 degrees Celsius. Think of melting sugar in a pan or tossing some onions. So if you're searing a piece of fish or a ribeye, you are chasing Maillard, not caramelization. And here is the golden rule, the magic numbers. 140 to 165 degrees Celsius. That is the perfect temperature window where the Maillard reaction just thrives. But here is exactly why your steak so often boils instead of sears. You can only reach this temperature if the surface water on your food has already completely evaporated. Water turns to steam at 100 degrees Celsius, right? So as long as there's liquid water on the surface of your meat, the temperature physically cannot rise into that magic 140-degree window. It's just stuck. Okay, moving on to Section 2. Now that we know the exact science of the sear, let's look at our tools in the carbon steel versus cast iron hardware matchup. When you actually look at the empirical data for modern induction cooktops, it's kind of mind-blowing. Carbon steel completely outperforms cast iron. Because carbon steel is forged so much thinner, its magnetic permeability is basically ideal for induction coils. We're talking an incredible 92 to 96% efficiency. When you drop a cold, heavy steak into the pan, carbon steel bounces back and recovers its heat in just 8 to 12 seconds. Cast iron, because of its massive, heavy bulk, it can take up to 40 seconds to recover, and it can suffer from wild temperature swings of up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit across the pan. There's this fantastic quote from the 2023 Journal of Culinary Physics that basically shatters a deeply ingrained kitchen myth. It tells us that, on induction, a heavier, thicker pan isn't actually better. Sure, on a traditional gas stove, a thick cast iron skillet holds heat beautifully. But on induction, that excess thermal mass actually works against you. It absorbs energy without raising the surface temperature evenly, which masks hot spots and severely delays the start of our beloved Maillard reaction. Let's move right into Section 3, mastering induction temperatures. Because induction is a precision instrument, not just a brute force fire. If you cook on induction, you have undoubtedly heard your stove click, or maybe you've physically felt the heat arriving in these rhythmic waves. And you've probably asked yourself, wait, why is my stove doing this? Is it broken? Well, good news, it's definitely not broken. This pulsing is actually a brilliant, deliberate feature known as pulse induction, or PI technology. Because induction coils are just so incredibly powerful, most cooktops use this method to manage lower heat settings. By rapidly turning the magnetic fields on and off in intervals, your cooktop is precisely managing the temperature, ensuring it doesn't wildly overshoot the heat level you asked for. To get the absolute most out of your cooktop, you really want to commit these key temperature zones to memory. A medium-high 360 degrees Fahrenheit is awesome for pan-frying pork chops, for example. But if you want that rapid, high-stakes sear to lock in a crust before the center of your steak overcooks, you've got to push into that high 420-degree zone or even all the way to the max sear 575-degree territory. Memorizing these zones gives you total, uncompromising control. Section 4. The Splash Guard Advantage. Let's tackle the massive mess that usually comes with this kind of high-heat cooking. It's pure instinct, right? When the oil starts popping aggressively, we all panic and grab a lid. But here's the problem. A traditional lid traps steam, raises the ambient humidity in the pan, and completely ruins that Maillard crust you just worked so hard to build. A proper frying splash guard, though, is an absolute game changer. It blocks airborne fats and contains over 90% of the grease, all while allowing a continuous, passive release of vapor. So your food stays shatteringly crispy, and your stovetop stays clean. The physics behind a high-quality, baffle-designed guard are actually genius. You place it flush over the pan. The micro-perforations create a laminar flow, which is basically just a smooth, uninterrupted pathway that carries the excess humidity safely away. Meanwhile, the angled baffle design physically blocks and deflects those dangerous popping liquid fat droplets right back down, trapping them before they ever have a chance to coat your countertops, or worse, burn your forearms. Okay, get ready for a completely unexpected bonus. Users consistently report an 80% reduction in kitchen pests, like roaches, after they switch to using a splash guard. Sounds crazy, right? But think about it. You are drastically reducing the microscopic lipid fragments and aerosolized grease that invisibly settle on your floors and cabinets overnight. You aren't just cooking better. You are literally starving out kitchen pests by wiping out their microscopic buffet. All right, Section 5, Rules for Flawless Searing. We have the science, we've optimized our pan, we understand the heat control, and we have our splash guard ready. Let's bring it all together. If you follow this foolproof sequence every single time, you will absolutely nail it. First, preheat your carbon steel empty for about 90 seconds. Second, do the water drop test. When the water drops form little rolling beads instead of just instantly evaporating, you've hit the Leidenfrost effect. That means you are perfectly heated. Third, bone dry your meat with paper towels. Remember, moisture is the absolute enemy here. Fourth, swirl in a high smoke point fat, like avocado oil or ghee, right before the meat goes in. And fifth, which is honestly the hardest rule for most home cooks, hands off. Do not touch it. Just let it sizzle until the crust fully forms and it naturally releases itself from the pan. So you are officially armed with the true culinary science of the sear. It's time to step into your kitchen and put all this physics to the test. You're no longer just blindly following a recipe. You are actively manipulating thermal mass, controlling evaporation, and optimizing chemical reactions like a pro. So look at your pans, check your cooking oil, and ask yourself, what absolute masterpiece are you going to sear tonight? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy cooking!